Good evening, and we are live again for another round of the awesome T7R GT3 Pro and Amateur Championship here, this time round at Okayama Circuit in Japan. What an absolutely outstanding track this Okayama is. It's small, it's tight, it's technical, and joining me in the studio tonight again is Mod. Welcome, Mod.
Well, hello there, Colin. We're in Japan. How crazy is this?
Yeah, I know. How was your flight?
Well, I've got to say, we've got around a little bit in the recent few weeks, but weather's fine here. We're 40 degrees last time I checked the thermometer.
Yeah, it's quite warm here in Japan for round 3 of the GT3 Championship at the wonderful Okayama Circuit. It's absolutely boiling here today in Japan. We aren't doing the full course configuration today. The cars are on the track right now having a little practice round. Is there anyone that you think we should be keeping our eye on this week, Mod?
Well, I was in practice just the other day. I was quite impressed with some of the lap times that Mr. Dodge was putting down. So I bet he's hoping for a good quali and a good race too.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. As Simon really did push hard in, you know, the pre-weekend practice and test sessions that the drivers do have on a Wednesday evening, and yeah. It was fairly impressive, to be honest. I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings tonight to the race. And is there any particular parts of the track that you feel the drivers will struggle on?
Well, I always say I'm terrible with the names here at Okayama. I know Revolver in that section, but I think it is turn 3 up to the hairpin has the great possibilities there where you can gain a lot of time, or if you push a little too hard, you just lose it all. It's going to be, I think, the action hotspot right there.
Atwood Curve, that one's called. I only know because I've got the track map up. Yeah, I'm not handy myself with the names of the corners here at Okayama. So yeah, we do have the track map here for you guys, and we will try and call the corners the best we can tonight. But bearing in mind, it took me a little while to find one with the translation, and I'm sorry, but I don't read Japanese. So if these are wrong, I do apologise. It is the only one I could find. So yeah, guys, yeah, they've got about 6 minutes left of the practice session. And then we will go into qualifying. So what we will do is we will jump onto the track and we'll just watch some of the drivers going round right now. So as you can see right now, we are with Rasmus Greener going round the track. As they just finished their pre-qualifying practice sessions. Here with just a few minutes to go. Rasmus is really doing well in Okayama this week as well. He's putting out a really nice time there.
Oh yeah, there's this really nice clump in the 1:30 region of people, all within a few tenths of each other. So there's going to be a few fireworks there, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, 100%. It's a really nice livery as well. I like that. So the majority of drivers are in the pit. They will be chilling out, making sure they make the most of the air conditioning in the pit stop just before the race and the qualifying sessions, because it is absolutely boiling here today. It's currently 107 degrees Fahrenheit on the track and 81 degrees Fahrenheit air temperature. Do you think that will make an effect on the race today, Mod?
Well, these Japanese tracks always seem to have a bit of extra slip, and the higher temperature is probably going to just exacerbate that issue. So we may see some tire degradation coming in towards the end, even though it's a just an hour. If those guys out there start pushing too hard, they might find their back ends getting a bit squirrely towards the end.
I've got to agree there. It's the short, tight turns, and on this track, I mean, there's a lot of hairpins as well. You know, it's a really technical, tight track. There's not really anywhere on the track where you can really push hard and, you know, like survive. And as it goes in overtaking, I mean, where do you feel like the drivers will take advantage of overtaking opportunities?
Well, there's a lot to be said about getting on the inside, coming into hairpin corner. There's a bit of chicken to be played there as to whether or not anybody wants to try that, but I bet there'll be a few attempts. And the same goes for going through turn 1, turn 2. There's a great sort of the turn 2 has a couple of different lines that are actually pretty good going through there, so that opens it up for some good overtaking, I think.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the race tonight. Really excited about it as well. Okay, guys, just a quick heads up just before anything happens here. I will be right back. I just need to go and double check something, and yeah, we will go for a quick ad break.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Thanks and good race to all.
I was going to say something, but I figured it's probably not going to be an issue, right? Yep, perfect.
Yeah, welcome back here to Japan. I just had to double check and make sure we had all the drivers on the list, and we actually don't. Damn. There's one. He was hiding right down the bottom. Damien Levang. Make sure and add him. Driver overrides. A driver. Yeah, where is he? Is that?
Oh, just in time for quality to start up as well. Well done.
Yeah, perfect timing.
But like Brands Hatch, the drivers are going to face the challenge of finding the right piece of track to start pushing on. There's going to be a fair amount of cars in some spots, so you want to get that nice clean space to drive in.
Right, that's us. We're good to go now. So yeah, that's qualifying started, guys. We will obviously keep you updated as we go along. Sorry
Yeah,
for
it looks
view of
like
pit stop now.
the first drivers are just coming to the end of their outlap just as we're speaking.
Excellent. So it looks like if Luke Hobson is going to be the first one, well, certainly one of the first ones anyway to get a time in. Oh, Robert Taylor's in with a 135 point, almost dead. Leo Forsblom is in there with a 135.2. I'm just not going to go through the times right now, guys, because as you know, it's right at the very start of the qualifying session, and it will be pretty hectic. Looks like if the sun's going down a little bit here. Or is it just tucked behind a cloud there? Can you see the sky from where you are there, Mod?
Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I think it is just a rogue cloud ruining the beautiful brightness.
Oh yeah, look, there's the sun there at this side of the track. Welcome TFR, I've missed you too, buddy. I've not been streaming much this last couple of weeks. I've not been feeling the greatest. Hopefully we'll be back to a normal schedule next week. I think it's the fact that I'm hitting 40 this weekend that's made me no well.
You're only a couple of months behind me then, Paul. That's it, you're done. The Queen sends you the commiserations letter and stand up from there.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that, I don't think. So far qualifying has went rather smoothly. There's only a couple of off tracks actually happened there in the background, guys, and yeah, all the cars are out doing their usual respectful qualifying session laps. Everyone seems to be behaving themselves and giving way where necessary. And you can, as you can see as well, guys, pay attention to the lap delta times down the bottom there in the qualifying session. So we've got almost everyone in now with a lap time. Two Ferraris going round together. Oh. Giving way to the other.
I have to say, maybe it's a bit of a bias because it's the car I tend to drive, but the Ferrari is looking good here at Okayama, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think this track really suits the Ferrari, and you know the way the Ferrari actually is in terms of its nature, because you know it's a fast turning car, you know, and it really does suit twisty tracks with sharp corners, and it's really good out the corners as well. It's got a good exit out the corners. The car that I feel that will struggle the most here, I don't know if you'll agree with that, is the Mercedes.
Yeah, I can imagine that may be the case. I have my questions about the BMW here as well. I feel it can be a bit difficult to get around some of these corners, but I don't drive it much, so I can't be sure. And it looks like some of the drivers are getting their quali laps in now, so we're seeing a few 29s in the professionals, and then again, as with practice, some 30s and 31s, all clustered quite close together.
Yeah. As you see, guys, on the timing tower down at the left-hand side there as well, is in brackets, you will see that they have a P and an AM, obviously, or an A. Some of them have got A, some of them have got AM. And basically what that is, guys, is their class, pro and amateur. I will fix that so that it's all uniform and looks right. Some of them say pro and some of them say AM and some of them say A and some of them say B. But we'll fix that. That's the first I've actually noticed. It's probably like that for 2 weeks. Excuse me. And also the numbers are coloured red for pro and blue for amateurs. I think we're expecting around 25, 26 cars here this week as well, so it's going to be quite a busy grid, especially for a track like Okayama as well, Mod.
Yeah, I can imagine that turn one will actually be, not too bad as everyone being cautious. But as soon as you get into that turn two on lap one, a few slides could cause the track to open up. Sort of divide the whole grid into two is a possibility right from the outset.
Ben, you should be able to enter the session, mate. It should still be available to enter, buddy. Yeah, TFR, I'm starting to get senior citizens discounts. My lovely chat. How I've missed you.
And we can see Aaron Rose there showing us exactly the kind of driver he is, same as at Brands Hatch, hitting himself a mid-28 lap there.
That's really fast, to be honest. Just wondering if he'll be able to hold on to the lead in this race this week.
Well, for sure, these guys are going to be very competitive again, I imagine. So it's going to be a question of who blinks first, and we'll see what happens in that pit stop.
Well, as you know, AJ last week certainly made an entry to the championship in style, and he had that incident early on in the race and managed to climb it all the way back up and win the race again with a fairly decent lead.
Yeah, absolutely. That was that was some kind of drive. You know, he had the pace to do it, we could tell, but he had to get through a fair amount of traffic who were not all cooperative with him and wanted that position for themselves.
Yeah, it was an outstanding drive, to be honest with you. I've got to say that, like, it certainly was.
And there we go. Ben Cullen has now joined the session. So speaking of people charging through the field, he did quite the same, right from the back all the way to the front, pretty much. Will we see something similar this time?
Yeah, that was an outstanding drive from Ben Cullen last week as well. You've got to admit that Brands Hatch just seemed to be his track last week. You know, outstanding drive from him. I'm hoping he can you know, repeat something like that this week again, because it made for good watching for us, certainly, and talking about it as well. It was just an outstanding drive right throughout the whole race.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he decides to get any quality laps in, or if he's going to try and do the last to first challenge again.
Yeah, I know.
Was it Ben last week who got in the track but didn't outlap and came straight back in again, just teasing us that you might get a lap in?
Yeah, I think it was actually. Alex Radar coming round at the corner there. I think that's a double left-hander. Yeah, it is the Piper corner there, going up towards Redmond corner. Then on to Hobbs corner and Mike Knight corner as well. And then at the last corner, as it says. Oh,
you're gonna love some of the Japanese naming conventions, with first corner and last corner being official names.
Yes. Oh, a little bit of confusion there. I think that's in the first corner there, is it? Yeah. I think drivers were just trying to give way to people that were on their hot laps, and a little bit of confusion out now. Oh, and one of the year one cars just spins off in the background there.
I don't think I've ever actually done a race in the GT3 cars here at Okayama. Of course, people who've raced a fair amount in iRacing will probably have some memories of racing a Mazda around here at some point. A little bit of a different beast to take the GT3 around here, though.
Yeah, most certainly. When the official iRacing series was here last week, I done one or two races here. It was a very difficult track, I felt, for me to push and be fast on. Give me a Mazda on here and it's a different story. But GT3, I just couldn't seem to get the rhythm going, and I felt like it was really difficult. It's a really difficult track in a GT3, I feel.
Yeah, I found when I was doing some practice myself, there was a few situations where you get the tyres on the grass and that completely wrecks your car entry. And I'm wondering if that's just because I'm used to driving some of the smaller cars around here that I just misjudge my entries.
Yeah, it was most likely. As I say, I'm used to Mazdas, and you know the TCR around here as well was really good, which is something that Turn 7 Racing. We are considering actually bringing as a touring car championship with the Audi TCRs. Yep, he popped out and went back into the pits in the same lap. Ben's done the same again. Didn't put a time in.
Thanks, Ben. That was great. Cheers. AJ just showing us what a fast lap looks like as he casually gets another 128.7 on the board now. There's 3 of them in that kind of time bracket.
Yeah, it's good to see. Again, there's not a huge time difference again between the top 20. Roughly around 2 seconds, and then going into 3 beyond the 20 mark. But yeah, it's certainly really going to make an interesting race.
Yeah. There's going to be definitely some people who will be looking at just one little mistake that may cost them 3 or 4 positions, and they'll be cursing themselves for the rest of the race.
The back end of the Mercedes here, just clipping the grass and slightly popping out to say hello there. I think that was John. Yes, it's John, who's managed to make the race. I know he'll be setting up his new system today, and it is his 25th year wedding anniversary today, so he'll be in the bad books while he's racing this race today. I know I would.
I mean, it's all about priorities, and I'm glad he chose the right one. You know, he could have had a car number of 108 or 810, whatever his local dating scheme is, and dedicated the whole race. But you know, he didn't think of that.
An Audi just going off in the background there. I'm sure that was Miguel Ruz. So there's a lot of jumping about going on here right now in the qualifying tree, guys. So what we will do is we'll settle that down and we'll have a look around at the top 10. So as it stands right now, AJ Southgate is taking a pole position with a 128.6. Aaron Rose is followed very closely with a 128.7. Followed by Lewis Rose with a 128.7, Rodrigo Duran with a 128.8, Vasco de Silva with a 129.17, Michael Biquet there with a 129.8, Gregory Hove with a 129.9, Ed from Backmarker Racing there with a 129.9, Simon Dodd in P9 so far with a 130.051, Robert Taylor with a 130.122, Colin D. Campbell with a 130.2, Jonas Greener with a 130.2, Rasmus Greener with a 130.3, Luke Hobson with a 130.4, Carol Gray with a 130.4, John Dobarts with a 130.5, John Payne with a 130.5, Paul Carey with a 130.6, Dieter de Ridder with a 130.7, Claus Nelson there with a 120.7. Jesus Gonzalez there with a 130.7. Lero Forsblom with a 130.8. 130.1 makes Mika Hakala in 23rd. Miguel Ruiz 131.4. Alex Radar with a 131.7. Andre Carbel with a 132.050. That's the way the qualifying it looks so far, and we are almost reaching the 10 minutes left to go. You think there'll be much changes to that?
Well, there's still a few people who have yet to set laps. Whether or not they're going to could make a bit of a difference between some of these drivers. But, you know, some of them out there right now, there's a couple of thousandths between them. So, you know, anything goes, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got to agree there as well with the times being so close. All it takes is one really good sector, and that's it. you know, the position changes. I think that's currently Aaron Rose there coming down to finish his lap. 128.6 he got there. No, it was a 130.314. Rodrigo Duran and the Audi followed it very closely there. I'm sure that was Matt, not sure. Two brothers going around there as well, Jonas Greener and Rasmus Greener. We've currently signed up to our GTE Endurance Championship, guys. Yes, just while we're waiting on this qualifying finishing, we do have a GTE Endurance Championship with the LMP2s as well. Now there is a minimum IR to drive the LMP2s of 1901, which is the equivalent of a pro license with T7R. So yeah, if you're interested in joining, please put !Discord in the chat, and yeah, just let us know in the Your Choices channel. It's looking to start, I think, in around 2 weeks' time. A week on Saturday, I'm sure it is, the 24th of October. Maybe 2 weeks on Saturday. It's looking to start. So yeah, entries are open for that. And if you're watching back on YouTube, please check the description down below, and you will see the link there to join our Discord. Hey, can't see me. Long time no see, buddy. Nice to see you back.
And yeah, I just want to agree there with what Mushrock was saying. It's quite amazing to see some of those amateur classes as high up the leaderboard as they are. I'm sure they'll be happy if they can keep that kind of position throughout the race.
Yeah, totally, Mod. And Mushrock as well. That's well spotted there as well. Yeah, I've got to admit, I mean, these guys are really, really pushing, and it only brings benefit to them as well in the championship, as they get the points for wherever it is they finish and take them into the respective championship places on their own classes. So yeah, it is really good to see so far. And what we will do is we'll actually just bring up the class display right now and see the difference between the pro and amateur leaders. Well, the pro leader so far has a 128.639 and the amateur has a 129.758. So it's almost a second of a difference there. Well, just over a second. But let's be honest, that's not a lot.
I mean, when we look at positions 9 through 12, there is like a tenth of a second between those three positions. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good. There's going to be some really good battles, I feel, around Okayama tonight, and I'm really looking forward to the lights going green here at Okayama in Japan under this scorching weather today. Yeah, Mushrock, 100%. It's going to be a really interesting race, some really close racing as well. Really looking forward to it going off, and hopefully we get a good, clean start as well.
It'll be interesting to see if they decide to go through the hairpin turn in single file, or if we're going to see two wides all the way through the field.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see how the guys choose to start this race. Personally, if it was me, I would be starting very cautiously, because yeah, I wouldn't be pushing too hard in the first lap, maybe even the first 2 laps. One, you've got to wait till your tyres come up to temperature. Don't get me wrong, it won't take too long in Okayama with the turns here. However, it is a tight track, and that was the other reason why I feel like, you know, you would be silly to go too hot into turn 1 and risk your race and anyone else's race that you may come across. Yeah, I would certainly start the race very cautiously if I was in the race right now.
And I think that the track surface is going to make a difference to that as well. I mean, with Brands Hatch, I always found it was somewhere that if you make a bit of a mistake, you can correct for it. But at Okayama, that mistake can be a complete spin before you've even had a chance to react.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there as well, Mod. I think in particular it's turn 1, which is first corner, is one of the slippiest corners on the track. That and Williams corner as well was pretty slippy. But yeah, in general, the asphalt here in Japan is really smooth, and you know, it doesn't give you too much grip. As you can see there, the BMW just kicking out on the exit of, I'm sure that was Revolver corner there. Just under 4 minutes to go, guys, and we will be done with the qualifying session. And it's almost a lights green time here at Okayama for round 3 of the Turn 7 Racing GT3 Pro and Amateur Championship. So almost everyone out. Ed's in the pits, John Payne's in the pits, Claus Nelson's in the pits, but almost everyone is out on track here, or certainly on their out lap, trying to get in that one last blast to try and improve their starting position.
And that's right, can't see me. Williams corner is for lap 1. Very, very definitely a place you got to watch out for someone just getting a little loose. Pretty much every race that I've had, someone's done it.
It's nice and clear on mine, Cube Jam F1. I don't know what you're viewing it on. Maybe if you try refreshing or something, I don't know. Maybe you've it's certainly on your end, buddy. The stream is quality according to the broadcast is excellent, and yeah, everything's showing up the way it should. What, the car numbers? That's because they're in their classes, the colours, mate. Car numbers are in the car classes, the class of the car. But I can read them again, I can see the numbers fine on my side screen here that watches the broadcast back to make sure everything's looking right. What we will do is we'll look to get them outlined maybe for next week. I'll look into how to do that. but the red ones were outlined by default for some reason, but we'll certainly look at getting the blue ones outlined to make that a little bit better for you guys.
Wait, have I seen this right? Has Ben Cullen got himself a qualifying time?
Is he surprised us at the end there?
I mean, it's still a troll. It's still a Ben Cullen troll. A 1 minute 35 lap he put in.
Yeah, he's just teasing us there, isn't he? So yeah, guys, that is the end of qualifying here at Okayama. Oh, wrong Batonian. Oh, sorry, it's not. Still a few cars finishing their laps there.
Yeah, one more lap, but there's only a few people out there, I think, now.
The cracks and bangs there of the Audi as it comes round at the last corner. Believe it or not, guys, that is the corner name.
Yeah, we are missing Keith this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, Keith did. He mailed me earlier today. He's been really busy. So yeah, unfortunately, Keith won't be racing tonight. But yeah, so as we wait on the grid results coming in. So here we go as the grid lines up for the start of this race. Led round there by the Mustang safety car. No idea why it is a Mustang, but it is. Here for the Turn 7 race in round 3, Okayama GT3 Pro and Amateur Championship. Taking pole position is AJ Southgate. Followed very closely by Aaron Rose. And in P3 is Lewis Rose, Rodrigo Duran in P4, Vasco De Silva in P5, Michael Biquet in P6, which is taking pole position for the amateurs. 7th place is Simon Dodd. 8th, Gregory Hove. Ed there in P9. Matt Crow in P10. Paul Kerry in P11. Colin Campbell there in P12. P13 is Luke Hobson. P14 is Robert Taylor. Carol Gray in P15, Jesus Gonzalez in P16, Jonas Greener there in P17, Erasmus Greener there in P18, the two brothers, John Dobarts in P19, John Payne in P20, 21 is Dieter De Ridder, Klaus Nelson there in P22, Lero Forsblom there in P23, Mika Hakala in 24th, Andre Cabell in 25th, Miguel Rose there in 26th, Alex Radar 27th, Ben Cullen there in 28th. And that concludes your grid. No, wait a minute, we've got Damien Levang there in P30 from Hexagon Motorsports, who didn't actually set a time, decided to start from the back. Mod Kiko is commentating, so not actually in the grid. And that concludes your grid here, guys. And the cars are off on the warm-up lap here. We'll just watch them from this view as they start the race. When the lights go green, we'll get a bird's eye view of any mishaps in turn 1. Who do you think's going to win this? The pros?
I am not going to be able to call that. I can tell you now. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be tough to beat AJ's performance from last week if he does it again. As he goes off now,
and they are off. Everyone seems to be going around turn 1 fairly cleanly. No one is off yet. Really clean start. A really good bird's eye view of this right now. We will get down to the action, guys. Just let the race at least do 1 lap till we see and make sure everyone is getting round. As you can see, the cars coming up towards the hairpin corner.
and it looks like everyone is taking it fairly conservatively here in the opening laps. Though I can still see going through the mid-pack, a few too wides, a few little bumps and scrapes, but otherwise, looks like everyone's out there doing their best.
Oh,
So that just as there is an incident coming into the second hairpin.
I see that there. Oh, there's a lot of action. Yellow flag. I think the safety car would need to come out there, I think. No? It's all right now, it's clear.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tricky situation for everybody there, but I think he got cleared in the end.
Okay, let's jump down onto the track side now and watch these guys going around.
So, Mr. Grainer there having an incident. I think that's going into Atwood. There's a few more cars coming off now.
Yeah, I think the safety car will come out, to be honest with you.
I can throw that if you would like. Get a restart.
Yeah, I think it's needed. And there has been a safety car deployed in the race. We'll keep an eye on the leaders and watch for the safety car coming out.
Yeah, there are a few people in the pits already. This may give some others who got some damage but nothing critical the opportunity to get tidied up and see if we can't get a clean restart.
As you can see, the safety car is out here, guys, or Yokohama, within the first few laps.
Oh, we've had a bit of a significant incident under yellow there.
There's a lot happening, actually.
Yeah, Carl had a significant incident as someone, I think it was Mr. John Payne, unaware of a safety car, came around the corner and gave him a bit of a bump. I wonder if that's Mr. Payne's new setup, just throwing him off balance a little bit there.
It's not a nice thing bringing the safety car out, certainly at any point in a race. However, I think considering the start that was there and the amount of bumps and stuff that was happening, it was deemed necessary to bring it out to avoid any more, and let the race progress normally. Straight after the safety car, it is a single file restart, guys, with any lapped cars to the back, so to avoid any chaos. What is going on at the back there?
Yeah, hopefully it will allow some of the tempers to calm down as well, as well as people getting their cars tidied up in the pits if needed. As Carl Gray enters the pits after his incident just to get his car sorted.
Yeah, Keith, there were a bit of a pile up in one of the corners, mate. It was quite necessary to bring the safety car out, mate, to avoid any more. But obviously, some of the guys are not paying attention to how close they are to the park, and I think that's what's happening anyway, and just hitting into the back of people. Is that what's happening, Mod?
Yeah, so I think Payne, with his new setup, had an overlay issue. I was just listening in on some of the chatter between the drivers there, and I think he didn't see his flag overlay wasn't where he was expecting it with his new triple screen, and as a consequence, he came around one corner at race pace, only to run straight into the back of the pack. And I think that caused the under yellow secondary sort of pile up a little bit. But otherwise, I think that was the only main issue there afterwards.
Yeah. So as we wait on the rest of the guys catching up with the safety car should come in the next lap or two. We will go back down to trackside and watch for the lights going out on the safety car, because that is a good indication that the race is about to commence, which I don't think will be too long here, as the guys are just swaying from side to side. Try to keep the tyres warm here. It's going to be very difficult, considering they're going around here about 60 miles per hour or so. 50 to 41 actually.
Looks like we had, by my count, 6 cars having to make a pit stop post everything there. So I think that was well worth it. Just to hopefully get those guys back into the race.
Yeah, guys, if you can just mind your distance to the cars in front, please.
Oh, a little bit of a bump coming into last corridor again. I think though for the most part the temperature of their stress levels is dropping though after what was quite an adrenaline filled opening.
Yeah, we're about to go green again though here at Okayama. The lights are out on the safety car, so it should come in this lap. So we're about to restart the race.
This may open up the possibility of fuel saving for some of these drivers. We never know.
Yeah, they may actually not need to actually pit. I think is that 4 laps now? 3 laps under safety car?
I think you're right. Yep. We are coming up to 15 minutes into the race, so
Be interesting to see if anyone actually does need to pit. I think that'll make a significant difference on the race as well. So yeah, normally the pit stops are happening around the 40-45 minute part of the race.
yeah, absolutely. So anyone who just eases off a little bit may well be able to get to the end without a pit stop. So that's probably what's going through the mind of some of these more experienced drivers, trying to weigh up the pros and cons of either of those strategies.
Safety car is in the pit lane. The lights are about to go green again here. And they're off. It's a restart here at Okayama.
Let's see how these guys do. That's going to have thrown some people off their rhythm, I think, but hopefully it has also served to refocus some of them.
Couple of damaged cars there, as you can see, guys, through that earlier bump in the start of the race. But the cars are still battling on as we've restarted here with just over 45 minutes to go here at Okayama. Ben Cullen out on the outside there.
Yeah, Cullen is not deterred at all. He's going to still go for the charging.
It's a much better start this time so far. Everyone has started the race, restarted the race really cleanly. Everyone getting through the revolver corners there.
A little bit of a spin from Crow, which is unfortunately one of the pro classes. Not sure what happened. I think someone may have given him a bit of a push on the back, but I didn't quite catch it. Instead, we're seeing De Ridder there in the pro class. Unfortunately, towards the back of the pack now, so he's going to be trying to make some moves and pick up some positions. Always difficult here at Okayama though with these corners.
Yeah. As we were saying earlier on, the overtaking opportunities are very strategic, I would say, in Okayama. You really need to build up the pace and prepare your move well in advance before you actually do it, which obviously then gives the driver in front a little insight in what you're up to, and possibly allows for a good defensive move. And Ben Cullen has passed Mika Hakala there. Andrew Cabell passing John Payne. Buzz Nelson passing John. Everyone passing John as he went off track. John rejoining the track nice and safely there.
Let me see Carl Gray, Gunbretts, and is that Dieter? Dieter De Ridder, all trying to make it through the Moss S's and seeming to do so with a plan. I think we can already see that there were some packs forming around what we saw in quali with some of those clumps, or within a few tenths of each other. We can start seeing that shaking out already in the first couple of laps after the restart.
Yeah, definitely. I can see there right up till P5 is starting to pull away from P6 there, and P7. P6 is starting to get a little bit into no man's land there as well. Try to creating himself a little gap.
A little bit of an incident there from Forsblom. Looked like he got himself pretty significantly sideways there, with a bit of damage to his front, so he may have hit the wall.
Yeah, little Forsblom just entering the pit lane there for some repairs. But it's been a really clean restart here to the championship race, round 3 at Okayama. Alex Radar passing the cameras there, and Dieter De Ridder following very closely as a Ferrari and the Ford there have similar liveries. I think they're actually teammates.
Oh dear, that was some close racing right until the moment there, with the Underbrats hitting a few bumps, unfortunately. But that was some intense racing from them.
Was that John Dobarts and Paul Carey?
I think it was Dieter De Ridder.
Ah. as we are into lap 10 here, currently following Alex at a radar going round there. Amateur in one of the Ford cars. There only is 2 Fords here in the championship. Yeah, Matt, you know the procedure for that, buddy.
And Alex Radar's little race here that is quite intense. I mean, I think all of these guys are a little bit out of position and they're just trying to either make their way up or defend themselves as best as possible. And it's actually making for some compelling viewing. Side, I'm sure Derrida will be the most eager to make these passes. He's currently in P20, I believe, and being in the professionals, I'm sure he'll want to get himself up at least a few positions before this race comes to an end. And just checking in on the leader there, Mr. Southgate, pulling away quite happily, but he still isn't got a significant gap there. They're still right on his tail. Lewis Rose just trying to keep that position, that second position from Aaron Rose, while also trying to keep Southgate within grasp. A bit of a careful balancing act of defence and attack.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just dealing with a little something in the background there. Well done in keeping that up there, Mod. This is a really good thing about having someone with me, because sometimes I do actually have to, like, you know, jump away for a split second just to deal with something. And then obviously having you there to basically take over is an absolute amazing thing to be having, to be honest. So thanks again for joining me this week.
Absolute pleasure. I'd like to be down on the track, although there's quite a lot of stress down there. Oh, and Carl Gray has tried to get past there. Yeah. On the outside, but can't quite make it round.
Just doesn't carry the speed enough, although Alex was also on the outside there as well.
This is a good close racing from these guys here. Indeed, just He's gonna follow behind through the technical section here, I think. Does look like he's sporting a little bit of damage to his rear, unfortunately. Probably not helping him get that run off through the straights. Everybody here, they're starting to clump up a little bit as everyone's trying to get past everyone else, and they're all seemingly slowing each other up a little bit now. Carl taking another shot at DeRidder, and DeRidder holding him off. As they come into the first corner, another opportunity for Carl as he tries to sneak up the inside, but the door is closed. DeRidder certainly knows how to keep hold of a position, and if it doesn't quite have the pace with that damage.
A new follower. We just become best friends. Yep.
Thank you very much for the follow there, Mad Matt. It's much appreciated.
You can see is that Jürgen de Brett's Paul Kerry, the distinctive iron blue livery, have joined the party now, so this could get even more complicated through the next few laps.
And again, thank you very much for that follow there, Hadzi Ayal. And a nice little host there. Cube Jam F1 with the host.
And yeah, looking at the podium just quickly, they are certainly still racing for that top three, only a tenth or so between them each lap.
Look at how close the racing is here between that year one driver, Carol Gray, and Dieter de Ridder. They are right up the very back end of Dieter there in the BMW. As the BMW of Dieter starts chasing down Alex Radar there. A little bit of boxing going back.
Oh, that was an amazing opportunity there.
Little cheeky, but what a nice move there up the inside.
And credit to DeRidder for allowing that to happen. He could have tried to have closed it, made it dangerous, but he gave the room and let it through.
Yeah, 100%, man. It could have went so wrong there, but yeah, DeRidder just gave him the room there, and yeah, really good racing from Carl Gray.
Carl is still not done though. He's trying to find that way around Alex Radar.
Yeah, ballsy move from Carl. Carl's really pushing up the pressure on Alex here, and it goes up the inside.
There he goes.
And takes it again. That's two moves in the one lap. Carl Gray
looks like Carl is not waiting around now.
So Carl Gray taking the top 20 by storm there, really pushing his way up through.
Now, can he run away now and get himself a bit of a gap from DeRidder? And is that Rasmus Grainer there just behind?
As Cube Jam says, there was a Ferrari-shaped gap there in between those two cars. And Carl Gray just slid it right through it. As you can see, the top three cars have made a nice little gap there. P4 currently staying fairly close. Michael Biquet currently leading for the amateur class. Let's just get that up, actually. Show who's leading the classes. Overall, Southgate is leading and leading for the pros. And Michael Biquet currently leading for the amateurs. Enjoying his race here. Out on his own right now. And currently sitting behind him is Ed in 6th place. Then followed by Gregory Hove. Then in 8th place, a Robert Taylor, racing a nice race himself there. Simon Dodd is in P9, Colin Campbell P10. That completes your top 10 so far, 29 minutes into the race. Vasco de Silva in 11th, Jonas Greener in 12th. 13th is currently Ben Cullen. Jesus Gonzalez is in 14th. Andre Carbel in 15th. A little bit of Chopman changing going down here. Claus Nelson dropping down. In 15th is Andre Carbel. 16th is Miguel Ruiz. Mika Hakala in P17th. Carol Gray in P18th. Dieter De Ridder there in P19. P20, Alex Radar, sorry. And the P21, Erasmus Greener. John Dobarts in P22. John Payne, P23. P24 is Claus Nelson. P25 is Paul Carey. P26 is Lero Forsblom. Paul Carey's just dropped down to P26. And 27th place is Mark Crowe. 28th is Luke Hobson.
I'm just looking here at the battle for top 10. Dodd, Campbell and Silver. There is a battle brewing there. They're not quite in the battle yet, but I think De Silva has the pace on Dodd and is catching up with him slowly. Watching Van Hove there, right in the middle of Ed and Robert Taylor. Uncomfortable position, I would imagine, but he's going to try and keep with Ed and maybe make a move coming soon. Looks like he's been gaining on him a little bit the last couple of laps.
Is that Gregory there catching up with Ed? Yeah.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. Ed's been putting in some good laps, but slowly that gap is being shaved away by Gregory.
Currently with Colin Campbell here. We will go down and have a look at that battle between Gregory and Ed, but let's see what's brewing here with Colin and Simon Dodd just in front there. Vasco de Silva just behind him with the Craig's Set Up Shop livery. Colin just poking his nose out there on the outside just to let Simon Dodd know that he's there.
Of course, Dodd had an unfortunate race at Brands Hatch, ending unfortunately on his roof. So I'm sure he'll be wanting to get as good a position as he can out of this one, get those championship points.
Yeah, I'm glad the pit crew managed to fix that car from last week. It was in a pretty bad mess after that crash. The Year 1 race team. Colin trying to go up the outside and he pulls up, he's next to him. Carries the speed round the outside.
Full revolver.
Oh, he's got the inside of this corner and the inside of the next. Colin's going to make this. What a nice overtaking move there by Colin.
Oh, and De Silva takes the opportunity.
Simon Dodd dropping down one place so far, but about to drop another, I would guess so anyway, unless he can carry his speed through here. Yep, Simon's got the inside. A little bit of rubbing there between the two. Really nice move from Colin there. Absolutely outstanding driving. And again, nice little battle there between Simon and Vasco de Silva there at the end up.
Oh, de Silva has got the run coming into the straight. Unfortunately, went a little too wide. But I can tell Dodd definitely knows he's there and will be conscious of them for however long those two are that close.
Lewis and Aaron Rose pushing up the straight there. Going into the hairpin corner and then revolver corner. It's not been confirmed yet, but I'm almost 100% sure that these two guys are brothers.
Well, they certainly have a similar driving style.
Getting into a little battle between each other there.
Yeah, it looks like they're coming into some lap traffic. I think that's Paul Carey just ahead of them, which could complicate this battle a little bit. It looks like a few of the cars have started to make pit stops. So I'm not sure if they did some maths and realised they weren't going to quite make it and decided to go for a tactical stop as Paul lets everyone by there.
Yeah, I see that. P5 is... Who was that went into the pits there? Rodrigo Duran?
That was Duran.
Yeah. I think that's a fuel stop.
Well, yeah, we've got a few lap 16 through lap 20. People have been pitting, so I think they've done the maths and figured that they're going to have to do it at some point. So they're just trying to find that optimal moment, I think.
Yeah.
As they come into lap traffic, these Rose drivers, maybe they'll also think about tactical pitting if they don't think they can get there on fuel.
Ed there with the twisted rear wing. I'm just wondering if Ed's got it in his head there that maybe he's going to hang off to the pit stop and get that wing replaced when he goes in, and then start pushing from there, because he's still in the top 5 right now. So, you know, he's not a million miles away from Biquet in front or Aaron Rose. He's certainly a little bit, but not a million miles away. Just change that to the gaps so that you guys can see. I apologise for that. I normally change that right away, but with all the action at the start of the race, I've completely forgot. And now we're over halfway through. I've finally remembered.
Yeah, I'm wondering the similar situation with De Ridder, who's got a very wobbly rear wing. I think he may be just holding off for a pit stop as well to get that fixed up.
I mean, during last week, I had a little test drive of my McLaren round here, and I found it a really oversteery, snappy car around this track. So hats off to the guys driving the McLarens around here this week. I just couldn't tame it around here. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't in it for very long, but I certainly couldn't tame it for the amount of time I was in it.
And credit to them all right now, because I'm expecting there's, without having your actual crew chief and an actual manager in the pits, that these guys are having to do a little bit of maths, do a bit of strategizing, as well as fighting these close battles that are coming on all the way through the field.
Yeah, 100% as well, especially with that restart under the yellow flag with the safety car out. It probably totally destroyed some of their plans, you know, and tyre saving, you know, would completely change as well. And oh, there's De Silva going off there in the background again on the final turn. Our last corner, we should say. Let's call it by its name. So yeah, as you were saying there as well, yeah, like I think it's totally mucked everyone's strategies, if they did have any, you know, because it would certainly put me off my stride as well, according to the fuel, because sometimes guys fuel their cars up. They've got a maximum of 65% allowed in the tank, but some put 50 in and opt for an earlier pit stop. But you know,
Simon Dodd under pressure here from Durant.
Yeah, I see that there in the background. No, Duran just pulling back in to catch the draft. Get that little bit extra speed up the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the two. A little bit of door rubbing, but Duran makes it through.
Almost inevitable with any pass in this section, there's going to be a bit of bumping, but I don't think that's going to make Simon any happier. Oh, no!
Simon just taking a spin there. Let's have another look at that. I'm sure, almost 100% sure his back wheel just went off the track and no more. Let's have a little look. Oh, we're too slow, too quick. Let's have a little look here as it goes round the corner. Yep, his back tyre just goes over the curb there, which then sends him out into the tyre wall. And almost like a little move he made there, and just spins and continues on.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't seem phased by it, but I'm assuming inside that cockpit a few swears have been issued.
Yeah.
He didn't come into the pits at all either, so maybe he's fine with the steering and is just going to keep pushing through until he gets out of fuel.
Colin poking his nose up the side of Robert Taylor there. Colin making his way up through this pack really, really well. Now attacking Robert Taylor's Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, Colin did some fantastic driving last week, but Robert Taylor definitely no newbie and won't be making this easy for him at all.
Yeah, Colin's one of those drivers. He's oh, Robert Taylor just kicking out wide there, and that allows Colin through for the pass.
My apologies to Robert. I cursed him with that comment, I think.
Outstanding driving there again from Colin. The Ferraris are certainly looking really strong here, I've got to admit that. Yes, it was a really good save as well, yeah, 100%. It could have been a lot worse. That concrete wall could have been hit. Oh, here we've got a little inside view of Gregory Hove here.
I would see more and more people coming, doing their pit stops as well. So we've got Aaron Rose has done his pit stop. So he's dropped down to, looks like P10.
Oh, Alex Radar and Robert Taylor came together there. We'll go back and have a little look at that. I'm not sure what happened. I just caught it in the back side of the cameras there. Let's jump back and have a little look. Alex Taylor is out wide. Alex Radar is out wide. Oh, he just goes... It was a complete accident. Oh, that was really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate.
They've been putting up a good defensive drive as well. I'm sad to see that happen.
Yeah, that was really, really unfortunate. We could have one more look at that, this time in fast speed. It's not giving us it. Yep, the cameraman is not playing ball.
Video editors, they're just not cooperative. As I was saying there, Aaron Rose dropped down to P10 due to a pit stop. He's now made his way up to P8. So I imagine we'll see everyone else be making pit stops in the next 5 minutes. It will be very strange to take a pit stop this late. So some of them may well be trying to get to the end without one.
It'll be interesting to see if Michael Biquet actually comes in the podium overall here as well. You know, it's Ben Cullen that just been overtaken there by Aaron Rose. It was a nice move from Aaron
Gonzalez do make the same mistake there. It looks like as Mr. Raider. There's a few people having issues there. Ben Cullen currently in P7, heading into the pits.
So I'm just wondering if Michael Biquet is actually looking down at his fuel gauge thinking, can I make this?
Absolutely. I think he might be going for it. Real question is Lewis going to do it? Lewis Rose, can he do it? He's been pushing pretty hard though, so I don't think he's going to have it unless he's got something in the back.
Yeah, he's currently only 2 seconds behind AJ as well there. AJ having a really strong race right now again this week, really pushing that Ford GT3 to its limits. And there's one of the year one team off and turn the last corner. Not sure who that is. It's Simon Dodd again off and oh, just causes a little bit of avoidance there going round the last corner. So as you can see, Lewis isn't too far behind the leader here as we watch Lewis coming round there. And the Tiger liveried Audi.
Now, looking at some of the times these guys have come into the pits, that early yellow flag has caused quite a diversion in techniques, I think, there.
Yeah, some of these drivers, I reckon, are actually going to start. I think some of them are actually going to try and make it in the one go.
Yeah, I mean it is feasible. I mean, looking at Bouchet's times, it doesn't look like he's pushing it as hard as he has been doing previously. So maybe that's exactly what he's trying to do. But he's coming under pressure from the likes of Duran, who are now pushing, having done a pit stop back in lap 20.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the follow there, Finn Mosdale. Really appreciate it. Oh, Michael Rose and Simon Dodd. Let's have a little look at that.
Close racing after Simon's incident, and it didn't quite work out for him.
Oh, really unfortunate there. Not too sure if that move was actually really on there for Simon, to be honest.
Well, we may be looking as well at some tyre issues coming into the last part of this race. So his braking may not have been exactly what he was expecting there.
Yeah, definitely. I think that as we look at the temperatures here, the track temperature actually hasn't changed from the start of the race. It stayed at 108 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not really been a huge difference there. It's going to be really interesting to see if Michael Biquet and Gregory Hove is going to really just stay out. Oh, AJ Southgate and Lewis Rose have entered the pit lane. Has Michael Biquet got enough fuel to finish this race? I need to stop saying lace.
Get the translation in there.
Let's all jump in our cars and lace. So Michael Biquet. Sorry, when you go?
Oh yeah, no. I mean Biquet and Van Hove. I think they're both looking into the possibility of going all the way here.
I'm just wondering if they do have enough fuel to actually make it, though. You know, it's got to be close, if anything. Would you risk it?
You know, it depends on the kind of race I have. I tend to, if I have an incident early on, I'm tempted to take a risky action. But in Bouquet's position, he's up there already. So is it worth the risk? I'm not sure it is, but we'll see.
We're actually looking at Bouquet right now as well in the Hexagon car there. As he's, you know, he's lapping cars here. He's currently behind Simon Dodd right now. Be really interesting to see. I'm sitting here. I don't know about you guys watching right now, but I'm on the edge of my seat, thinking to myself, is Michael Bouquet, the leader of the amateur drivers so far, going to win overall as well here at Okayama? Has he got the fuel to finish the race? What do you guys think in the chat? You think he's going to have to pit? That's us in the last 10 minutes.
Just looking at his recent laps, looks like he's starting to pick the pace up a little bit. So maybe he thinks he's either, I don't know, maybe he thinks he can do it and he can push, or maybe he knows he can't, so he's just going to push until he has to pit.
Yeah, maybe as well as he's trying to push to get away from the back markers there, just to give him a little. You know, like sometimes, like when I'm driving in these in races as well, as I try and catch up to the car in front of me, but you know, who's currently in front of him? Is there a car close?
I don't see anyone up there.
Yeah, Paul Carey's currently in front of him, I think. Yep, Paul Carey, he's 4 seconds, I think, in front of him. So maybe, oh no, he's coming into the pit. Yeah, you were right, Lord. Unlucky. Imagine he had enough fuel to finish that race there, though. What a swap round that would be. So AJ Southgate is back in the lead, followed within 3 seconds by Lewis Rose. Michael Bouquet, currently in the pit lane, making his pit stop, dropping down to 4th, down to 5th. Ben Cullen there, currently running in P9.
Does Van Hove get in front of him here? Nope. Not sure if he did or not, actually.
No, he's still behind him.
Yeah, so that didn't cost him too much as far as the amateur race is concerned, but obviously lost a few positions in absolute terms. Just another quick shout out there for our leader, AJ Southgate. More comfortable race for him today, I feel. And unfortunately, we haven't put much focus on him because he hasn't had an exciting one. But yeah, congratulations for the win he's had so far.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, Alex Radar just going off again in the background there. Excuse me, guys.
And of course, although he hasn't been involved in as many battles, Ben Cullen coming from the back for another top 10 position. Definitely a commendable run from him.
Yeah, he's up in
And since I
19th
haven't
place.
mentioned
He's
his name
from
a
his.
lot,
Sorry, on you go.
we haven't mentioned his name a lot, so not a lot of drama in all those passes and closing up. It's a very clean, very straightforward race in some regards. I'm sure there was a few scary moments for him out there that we missed.
Yeah. Also got to mention Colin Campbell as well, who's up 6 positions from his starting position. So he qualified 12th and he's currently running at P6. See, he's doing well as well. Ben Cullen's certainly up the most so far. Andrew Cabell as well. Oz Nelson's up 9 places. Andrew Cabell's up 10 from his qualifying. Simon Dodd is down 13. So doing it really well, the guys out here tonight. The GT3 PRO Championship. Carol Gray has just passed Oz Nelson. Watch AJ coming up past Paul Carey there.
And it's now only the top 18 cars are on the lead lap, for now anyway. Oh, hello. A little bit of fight going on back there between Simon and Paul Carey.
Yeah, we're watching that right now. It's really shaping up nicely, the little battle between those two.
Seem to recall those two having at it back in Barcelona as well.
Yeah, made for some really interesting racing as well. Simon Dodd just poking his nose there, letting Paul know that he's there and about to make a move.
As Lewis Rose is also trying to get in the mix and get past them all.
So Lewis disturbed Simon's plans there, but I'm sure Simon will get straight back in about it as soon as Lewis is back past Paul Carey there, which he's doing right now. Simon tried to take advantage of that there as well. Ben is just past Gregory Hove.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Kerry and Dodd, but nothing too serious.
We'll just stay with this little bit of action right now. Always good to see a battle right at the, you know, like mid to back section.
That's it, and the car in front of that is also 4 position. That's Forsblom, who had the incident earlier.
Yeah.
Looks like Kerry's managed to get a run out of there, leaving Dodd a little bit back, but he can't quite find his way past Forsblom.
Oh, overshoots the braking mark. Oh, that is a really, 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 really dodgy move there from Simon.
Yeah, he was fortunate there that that Kerry was being kind and didn't fight that too hard. Or again, that could have been quite hairy. As Dodd makes another move, he is feeling very spicy tonight. And of course, just in time for Aaron Rose to catch up to the back of them and possibly add some complexity to this situation. But Kerry is still going to try and do it into first corner. Gets by, and Aaron Rose interrupts the possibility of a counter attack from Forsblom.
Very nice driving there from Paul. Okay, as we are on the last lap, we're going to go up with the leaders and watch them cross the finish line one by one. AJ Southgate there having a fairly quiet but certainly steady race. Takes the checkered flag here. Well, almost. He's still got a corner to go. Unless something drastic happens, he's took the checkered flag here as he flashes his lights to celebrate. Going across the finish line there.
Oh no, Colin Campbell is stuttering on the last lap. Didn't quite put enough fuel in the car, it looks like. Unfortunate end from P6 to, well, I'm not sure where he's going to end up now. P17, I think that's going to put him 11 positions dropped because of that fueling.
Ben Cullen coming around the last corner there as well to take the checkered flag. Gregory Hove just behind him. Followed very closely by Robert Taylor. Taking P8. Jonas Greener as well. Coming down there. Followed very closely by Ed, as you can see in the background there in the McLaren. He did get a new wing when he was in for his pit stop. We were right. Carol Gray finishing in P11. Claus Nelson coming across the line there. Rasmus Greiner. P13. Andre Kerbel there as well. P14. Dirty Ridder. John Dobart's coming all across in a big clump as they finish the race. Rasmus Greiner, Colin Campbell. Mika Hakala coming round. I think he is actually he's finished his race. So everyone has finished the race here at Okayama. So what we will do... Sorry, on you go.
I was going to say that was a very feisty race. I'll invite some of the drivers for an interview if you like.
Yeah, no worries. That'd be perfect. Thank you very much. So what we will do, guys, is we will go around through the results. So taking the win here for round 3 at Okayama in the Turn 7 Racing GT3 Pro Am Championship was AJ Southgate with an absolutely outstanding drive in the Ford, followed very closely by Lewis Rose in the Audi, Aaron Rose in P3, Rodrigo Duran in P4, Michael Biquet P5, Ben Cullen at P6, Gregory Van Hove P7, Robert Taylor P8, P9 Jonas Greener, P10 Ed, P11 Carol Gray, P12 Claus Nelson, P13 Andrew Kerbel, P14, DTR Ridder. John Dobart's P15, Erasmus Greener there in P16. Colin Campbell with an outstanding drive, but unfortunately ran out of fuel on the last lap there. Finishes P17. Simon Dodd in P18. Paul Carey P19. Lero Forsblom P20. Jesus Gonzalez there in 21. John Payne came at 27th. Mika Hakala 22nd. Mika Hakala in 23rd. 24th is Alex Arada. 25th, Vasco de Silva. Miguel Ruiz, 26th. Luke Hobson there in 27th. So it was a very uneventful race here for the Turn 7 Racing Championship. So let's have a little look, a rundown of the Pro category as we change that to the winner. Sorry about that, guys. We'll have a look at the amateur first. So, Michael Bouquet takes the win for the amateurs, followed very closely by Ben Cullen. Gregory Hove comes third. Jonas Greener, 4th in the amateur class. Carol Gray, 5th. Claus Nelson, 6th. 7th, Andrew Cabell. John Dobarts in 8th. Rasmus Greener in 9th. Simon Dodd, 10th. Paul Carey, 11th. Lero Forsblom, 12th. 13th, Jesus Gonzalez. John Payne, 14th. Mika Hakala. And 15th, Alex Radar. And 16th, 17th, Miguel Ruiz. 18th, Luke Hobson. And Damien Levage there in 19th. Have another little look at the Pro. It should load in this time. AJ Southgate takes the win for the Pro class. Lewis Rose in 2nd. Aaron Rose in 3rd. Rodrigo Duran in 4th. Robert Taylor in 5th. Ed there in 6th. DTR Ridder in 7th. Colin Campbell in 8th. Vasco de Silva in 9th. Matt Crow 10th. So we'll go back to the overall. And who we got in the interview room? Let's speak to Ben Cullen, first of all. Good evening, Ben. Can you hear us, Ben?
Can you hear me or not?
I couldn't, but I can now. How was that race for you, buddy?
Not as fun as Brands, but it was alright. It was interesting with the safety car.
Yeah, the safety car was deployed after that pile-up, and can't remember the corner name. But yeah, the safety car came out because of that pile-up. I think there were about 5 or 6 cars involved in it. And then there were another accident soon after, so the safety car was deployed. Yeah, it certainly did make it interesting. And the restart, obviously. What was you thinking there when the race was restarting?
I was doing some quick maths to figure out if the safety car would push it so you could run it without stopping. But as the front boys like Gregory and Michael saw, there was no way you were going to get. So it was just try and get to a point where I had a bit of a gap where I could come back out into some clean air and try and catch up people that were stumbling over each other.
Yeah. So, like, obviously with your calculations, we actually felt that some of the guys were actually going to push it and try and make it to the end. Was there no chance? When did you realise that you would have to pit?
Nah, I think even if you were driving around on a different fuel map and even fuel saving, you were going to be a couple laps short. And it'd be a lot worse. Like, I think when I came into pit, I had 3 or 4 laps left, and we ended up doing another 10. So, and I was pushing it, so you could probably etch out another couple of laps, but yeah, you'd be probably at 2-3 laps short.
Yeah. Well, in the background here is Ben as well, as some of the officials have actually been talking about you moving up into the pro class. How do you feel about
No.
that? Well, yeah, okay.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be here every week, which is why I start from the back. Because my work schedule will mean that every other week I'll probably be lucky if I make it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to be fighting for like the AM championship just purely because I will not be able to make every round. I'll probably make. I've been fortunate so far, but as of I can't make next week, and then we'll see from there.
Right, okay, mate. No worries.
Doesn't look as good if I start at the back and don't get on the podium.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Anyway, congratulations again on your position here. You finished second, wasn't it? Yeah, second in class.
Yep.
And
6 overall.
6 overall. Well done, mate. Looking forward to seeing you race again, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the broadcast. Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers, bye.
Right. Now, who else do we have in there? Mod.
Let's see. We got Lewis. We got Mikhail Bouchet for the amateurs as well. We round them off.
Yeah. Is it one amateur left and the rest are pro?
Actually, Gregory Hove is also in the.
Oh yeah, we'll get Gregory in right now then. Good evening, Gregory.
Yo, hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Was a fun race, so feeling pretty good.
Yeah, well done in your third place on the amateur class there. That was a really good drive from yourself. How did you feel at the start of the race? Did you have a strategy or anything in mind?
Maybe a little bit, but the thing was there was like this yellow flag caution thing, which was somewhat confusing since I'm not really used to a situation like that.
Yes.
And so that was kind of weird. Like, I guess we saved some fuel doing like 4 or 5 slow laps. So like, it was cool to have something to adjust to, but it was definitely like a new experience for me to race like that.
Yeah, 100%. The officials felt it was necessary to bring the safety car out due to the crashes that were happening, and basically the start of the race and lap 1 around. I'm sure I can't remember the corner name. I'm sure it was Revolver Corner, was it? Odd. The double left-hander, Piper Corner and Revolver. I'm sure it was, wasn't it? After the hairpin.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to remember myself, but I think it was around Redman, where there was a second incident, and we decided that enough was enough, and we just had to calm everything down a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit heated at the start, I would say, Gregory. So we felt the safety car was the best option to bring out. Obviously, in the championship and under the rules section, there is an area that explains the safety car and the reason it would be brought out and what happens when it's out. So yeah, it is there.
That's really cool. Like the official iRacing Road Series doesn't really imply that, so it was really cool and interesting to experience that in a real race.
Yeah, it's in all the championships that we've done, it's only the second time it's ever been called out. So it's rare. It is a last resort. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to your race. I mean,
yeah, the race itself, honestly, I feel I got lucky with a decent qualifying lap time, which like put me kind of ahead of my normal pack of group of guys where I race with normally. And I feel like that kind of put me like in a groove where I could just like latch on to somewhat faster guys and like pull away a bit more with the front pack than usual.
Yeah. To be honest, Gregory, I feel like that for me anyway. I don't know about Mod, but that's certainly one of the best drives I've ever seen from you, and I can't thank you enough for obviously being part of our championships here at Turn 7 Racing, and certainly improving every single time that we see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a lot of fun to race with you guys, and yeah, hopefully I can keep on building on some consistent results in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Again, congratulate you. Anything you want to ask, Mod?
No, I was just going to say, absolute congratulations on that qualifying time. As you say, it was if that was fast for you. I mean, it was a sub 130 you managed to get in the end, right?
Yeah, correct. Yesterday in practice I got a sub 130, and today in qualifying also. Like honestly, in the past I didn't really use like qualifying setups. I just like used the race fuel setup, and I've been starting to like figure out some more things setup related, and yeah, it's definitely helping.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Gregory, and again, absolutely outstanding. As always, to watch you race here at Turn 7 Racing, and we can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you guys, and hope to see you next round.
Yeah, 100%. Catch you soon, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Right. Do we have the winner, Michael Biquet, here? Yes, we do. Good evening, Michael.
How are you doing?
Very good, but not as good as you.
No, yeah, I'm pretty happy now.
Yeah, that's your second one, is it?
Yes, and this one was like perfect according to plan. So
Yeah, so you had a plan then.
yes.
You didn't plan for the safety car though, did you?
No, no, I was pretty pissed off with the safety car because I got a bit worried that alternative strategy could work out with the safety car, but that was okay. Now the plan was easy. Given the pace of others in practice and qualifying, I knew that if I managed to survive the first 3 laps, because I really struggled last week in the first 3 laps, and keep Simon behind me, I will be more or less cruising on race pace until the end.
Yeah.
I could not catch up the 5 guys in front unless they crash. So that was just being defensive and then being consistent, and it worked out well.
Yeah. At one point, myself and Maud were watching you very closely, and it was getting into the last 10 minutes of the race, and we were both saying to each other, "Is Michael actually going to try and push and keep this going to the end of the race?" We were unsure what your fuel situations were. We were unsure how much you had left in the tank.
Yeah, so that was actually when the safety car came in. I think there were 3 choices I could make at this point. I tried to save as much fuel as possible, and I was hoping to go to the end. But I was short 12 liters, so that's a bit too much. I could not save it.
Yeah.
The other thing would have been to pit at this point. But the problem is Okayama, it's pretty difficult to overtake.
Yeah.
So I discarded this option because that could be losing more time than making a pit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you chose the right decision in the end. What do you feel, Maud?
Yeah, no, I mean it was phenomenal to sort of be speculating it, because you got what, maybe 1-2 laps right in the lead position, so it was definitely something we were wondering if you were going to try.
Well, the thing is, that's the advantage of the Ferrari, right? It's not as fast as the other cars on the straight, but it does use less fuel.
Yes.
So, well, unfortunately, no. If the safety car was 2 laps longer, that would have worked out, but...
So you were actually hoping the safety car would stay out?
No. To be honest, it's not fun to race with a safety car.
No, it's not. But again, it is a last resort here at Turn 7 Racing Championships. It only comes out if it's needed, and we felt at that time that it was needed.
Yeah, to be honest, being in front and having seen nothing of the mess that was behind, I was like, oh no, a safety car. Are we doing NASCAR now? What's going on? And then I went to watch a replay, and yeah, that's the right decision to make.
Yes. 100%. Right. Thanks very much again for taking the time out to speak to us, Michael, and we'll look forward to seeing you race again next week, and well done again on your victory this week for the amateur class for Hexagon Motorsports.
See you next week.
Yep, 100%. Catch
care.
you soon, buddy.
Okay, bye.
We'll now speak to P2 overall and P2 in the pro class, Mr. Lewis Rose. How you doing, Lewis?
Hey, good evening.
How was that race, buddy? I don't think we've spoke to you before, have we?
No, I haven't dropped in. I haven't really known whether we've been invited or if it's just been the winner from each one. But,
no, it's normally the top 3 or top 5. Like anyone within the top 5 can jump. Anyone can jump in for an interview. To be honest, we will try and speak to everyone. It's more of a timed thing than anything else. So yeah, we do try and speak to the top 3 first, and then if there's anyone else in there, we will speak to them as well if we've got time to. So yeah, how was that race for you, Lewis?
It was pretty good. It was largely uneventful apart from the confusion at the start, which is a little bit strange. I've never had a full course yellow on iRacing before. We didn't really know what was going to happen. And then the safety car appeared for a solid 5 laps, and I was trying to think in terms of fuel and pit stops whether we were even going to need to do it, because I noticed we were eating into the time distance of the race.
The way the safety car works as well, though, is the quicker the cars group up, the quicker it goes in.
So it's just waiting for them to bunch up and then the lights go out.
As long as you stay in formation, the quicker it goes in. I think the minimum's three laps, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but behind there were a bit of confusion. Yeah, well, as I say, there is in some prompts and stuff that tells you what to do and stuff, but yeah, like as I say, the safety car for us here at Turn 7 Racing is a last resort, and I'm sure everyone's going to mention that we speak to tonight, and probably a few will jump on chat and speak about it in there as well, which is completely fine. But it was a last resort. I mean, if you look back the start of the race, when you have a chance to do so, you'll see what happened and the reason that it came out. I think in the end mod, there were about 4 or 5 cars weren't there involved in incidents?
Yeah, I think, well, five cars, I think it was, 5 or 6 ended up in the pits right from the outset. So, yeah, it was fairly significant opening lap, unfortunately, as far as crashes go.
Yeah, it makes sense then. We were at the front, we were sort of unaware of what was going on, I suppose, behind us.
Yeah, like, as I say, as a last resort, but it is there to... It basically, the safety car's there to prevent any more accidents, although it caused some confusion and caused some bumps. But like, if you actually look, if you look in the rules, it explains it to you in there to take your time and catching up with the pack and to keep a distance. Because like as I say, it's like when the safety cars come into corners and stuff, the guys in front are slowing down, and then that domino effects to the back, and then eventually someone in P10's almost having to stop, and then that causes a few bumps behind that. So a good thing to do is just stay at a nice steady pace behind the safety car and continue around the laps until the safety car goes in. I've had it once in championships that I've ever raced in, sorry. I didn't particularly like it myself, but you know, it's party racing, and we brought it in here for the simple reason being it's there just to avoid more accidents and keep everybody in the race. Yeah,
sure. So other than that, it was a pretty good race, really. I mean, it was always going to be the pace of AJ in the Ford. It's just pretty difficult to keep up with. At the start of the race, it was maybe where the opportunity was to make some sort of a move, where I don't know whether it was tyres or something, but I think it took AJ maybe a couple of laps to get into his rhythm. It seemed like I was going to be able to make a move, but I think the way the car is down the straight, I think the Ford pulls quite well, and even when you're in a tow, I think you just don't make any headway on it. So from that point, I think it would have been perfect laps in order to even stay on the back of him, which still managed to do, but just didn't quite get close enough to attack.
I think you finished 1 point at 7.37 seconds behind him, which is, I think at one point you were 3 seconds behind him. I think that was the furthest you actually managed to drop back. But yeah, for me, Lewis, you drove an absolute outstanding race right from the word go. To be fair, it was fairly quiet up the front. Most of the action was behind you the whole race. AJ, like we do try and keep up with everyone, but it was fairly quiet at the front. Yeah, there wasn't much. There wasn't any battles as such. It was you were racing your own race. We did check in it a few times, and like have a little look at how you were doing and stuff. And yeah, as I say, it was just an outstanding drive from all of you down the front. The top five. Yeah, you pretty much all raced your own race, and just finished really well. Nothing really to report.
I'd like to just sort of go over the pit strategy that you ended up with, because I noticed that Aaron pitted a lot earlier than you did. So it was interesting to see how that played out. Obviously, worked in your favour one way or another. But was there anything reasoning behind that? Do you think that Aaron was trying to be strategic and anything there?
Well, we're on a call together, and we're using the same setup. We're using one of the VRS setups, and it defaults to load 60 litres of fuel in. So I think he just dropped the ball before the start of the race and forgot to top it up to maximum fuel load, 78 litres. That's why he had to go into the pits, and it shafted him really. So that was the reason for his pit. And with mine, I think I had to put slightly more fuel in than AJ did, having just spoken to him. So it's probably where I lost a little bit more time, and unfortunately just put me out of reach at the end of the race, because it seemed like whether it was AJ taking it easy at the end of the race or just me having the pace at that point. But I was able to claw back, I think, from 4 seconds back. I know we had some tail end and some back markers to get through, but I think I got it down to sub 2 seconds before the end. So that was a bit of a shame, but did have to go a bit heavier on the fuel. I think I'm a little bit lead-footed in the Audi, because I know we've done comparisons, myself and Aaron, he's my brother, and he tends to use a little bit less fuel than me over a lap. To just manage it a bit more.
Actually wondering that, because we've never actually had the chance to speak to either the two of you before. So you are actually brothers?
Yeah, we're brothers. He's the older.
All right, I see. No worries. We were discussing that during the race, actually, wondering whether you actually were brothers or not. I just assumed these were, because they obviously the second name's the same. But yeah, that clears that up as well.
I did think we needed to drop into the chat at some point to clear that one up. Keep hearing on the stream is like, I'm not sure if they're brothers or not, but yeah.
Again, though, congratulations, buddy. An absolute outstanding drive from yourself again, and look forward to see you racing again next week. Interlagos, I'm sure it is next week.
Yeah, I think I might need to buy that circuit, actually. Get some iRacing credits, but thank you.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And look forward to see you racing again anyway.
Cheers.
Have a good rest of your evening.
And you, mate. Cheers.
Cheers. And we'll speak to the race winner, Mr. AJ Southgate, number 24, and the Ford GT3.
Evening.
How's it going? Another outstanding drive from yourself there, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, this one was way harder than last week because I am pretty ill. Like, I'm not feeling too good. So every straight, I was blowing my nose and crying in the last 10 minutes.
Were you kidding on? It was a dump valve.
Oh my days! It just felt like such a long hour.
Yeah. So, talk us through like the start of your race, and like what was going through your mind when the safety car was deployed. Have you had a look back and seen what happened, and what do you think about it?
No, I haven't actually seen why the safety car was deployed yet, but it did give me a chance for the tyres to cool off a little bit and like kind of regenerate pace in the car. Because with the Ford, it kind of reaches a peak after about 6 laps, and it'll kind of stay at that pace. Whereas that gave it time to reset, so it'll go quicker.
Oh, I didn't know that. There you go then, eh? So the safety car actually helped you?
It did to a degree, yeah.
Yeah.
Also doing another restart to give me like another little gap.
Yeah, like, I mean, Lewis and Aaron, to be fair, kept a similar pace behind you the whole race. You know, like I think Lewis at one point he dropped down to about 3 seconds, but the majority of the time he was certainly within that 3. You know, around about the 2 mark. Was you ever
Yeah, he
worried
was.
at any point?
Was that? Second.
Was you ever worried at any point?
Actually, I was most worried going into the pit stop because I didn't know how quick Lewis was in the pits,
Uh-huh.
and also where Aaron was, because Aaron pitted a lot earlier, so I didn't know where he was going to come out in comparison to me.
Yeah. That's
So
fair,
that
yeah.
put pressure on it.
So, yeah, again, like, obviously we're going to let you go because you sound like if you're really, really struggling there. But all I'm going to say, again, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, AJ, and an outstanding drive again for you. Congratulations, and look forward to seeing you next week again.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
No worries, buddy. Catch you
Later.
later, eh? You look after yourself. Get some painkillers and whiskey down you.
Only I could drink. Only I could drink.
Right, we'll catch you later.
See you later.
Bye. So, Maud, final thoughts on the race tonight?
Well, she was a feisty one tonight. I think everyone was on their toes after that initial lap incidents that were going on, which actually made for things to be, I don't know, there was the opening, you know, after the safety car. I think everyone was a little bit tentative, and everyone just sort of slotted in, found their pace, and we got some really good pack racing going on and evolving out of that situation. Although I'm sure there's a few people who ended up with some damage and found themselves way out of place, who were a little bit bitter about the whole situation. All in all, I think that was definitely a race to remember.
Yeah, definitely. As we're watching it on the replay, it was actually Luke Hobson right at the start of the race that caused the accident there. Like, just rewind it back and play it in slow motion again. Goes up the inside of Paul Carey and just rams him out the way. So there is the reason it all started at the start of the race.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're almost going 3 wide into that hairpin, surefire disaster that's waiting to happen there, it looks like.
So that caused the chaos there, which then obviously shortly after that, this happened as well. That was Colin just catching up with it as well there. It was total turmoil there in that turn, and that is the reason the safety car was actually deployed, although there was another incident shortly after that, which just finalised the whole thing and made sure that the safety car was actually going to come out. The little safety car driver running to his car, jumping through the wind, the side window into the driver's seat. It was that quick. So, yeah, guys, I just want to say thanks very much for tuning in tonight. Again, it's been an eventful race here at Okayama, and we'll look forward to next week for Interlagos, and hopefully another amazing race, jam-packed, full of action. And again, thank you very much, Maud, for joining me in the commentary box this week. Been outstanding having you here again. And if you can't race, you're more than welcome back next week again.
Yeah, why not? Let's fly to Brazil.
Yeah, let's go. First class. Right, guys, thanks very much. We are going to raid a channel, so please stay with us while we finish up the stream here and have a quick look at that incident once more that caused the safety crash at full speed.
Just become best friends. Yep.
thank you very much for the follow there. Okay, guys, we are getting ready to raid. Again, huge thanks to everyone for tuning in. Good night, God bless, and see you again next week. And hopefully my streaming schedule will be back to some sort of normality next week as well. So yeah, good night, guys. God bless.